The question remains, my friend, are you willing to risk one American life, one soldier, one American soldier, or Marine, or airman, or sailor, one for a war with Iran? Are you? That's just it. Are you ready to go to war now? Who is advocating this? Who wants this? Are you asking for this? Are you suggesting this? Are you demanding this? Hell no. What is going on? And now there is serious, very serious talk about the draft. This after the NDAA. This is nothing but insanity. I'm not using these terms. I'm not one. You've got to understand something. I'm not saying that, oh, this is incomprehensible. This is beyond anything. I mean, none of this makes even the remotest sense. They're talking about war, and we don't have the capabilities of going to war with anyone because we have expended all of our treasure, all of our material. We don't have the troops. And I heard somebody talk about boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. Where? In Tehran? Why? Why? Do you believe Iran poses, excuse me, any threat to us? Substantial threat, imminent threat. Do you? Are you ready for your children and grandchildren or anybody else's children or grandchildren to die? For what exactly? So that Iran doesn't get a nuclear bomb? Is that it? Is that is that it? What about the other countries with nuclear bombs? This one's different. Do you think this has anything to do with what's going on? Do you believe this is in any way, excuse me, in our national interest? Look at me. Do you think I'm kidding? Do you understand how serious this is? This isn't Tyler Robinson. That's a serious case. This isn't Erica Kirk. That's serious. That is child's play. That is nothing. That doesn't mean anything compared to war with Iran. And I'm not going to say Iran. I am nonplussed. Sit back. And let me also tell you something. Do you know what they're planning to do to us? Have you heard about this? And if they did, can you blame them? Can you blame any country that we've gone like this to? Come on, do something. There comes a point where people retaliate. So when I talk to you and I mention things like food supplies or generators or emergency food, I'm not kidding. This isn't a joke. So America's got to get its head out of its ass and pay attention. We never signed on for this. So get ready to get scared. But first this. Everybody's talking about AI, a smarter future, a faster future, everything. Be nice if I hit the right one. Try this one. The world is about to explode. Wars expand, shipping lanes close, supply chains break, fuel and fertilizer prices surge, crops fail, power grids go down, and then you reach the grocery store and guess what? You find nothing left. Could you go 1 week without your local grocery store? A month? 6 months? That could never happen, right? No, famous last words. So what happens when there's a blackout or a cyber attack or a storm or a quarantine or a shelter in place, an order that traps you at home? Panic is not a plan. Preparation is. And I'm not talking about banana chips and beef jerky. My Patriot Supply's 6-month emergency food supply provides you right now with more than 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties, and food designated to last up to 25 years. Call it conspiracy theory or tinfoil prepper lunacy. You know I'm right. I know I'm right. Save $250 right now. Click the link below. Prepare with Lionel now. I've got to maintain my cool. Can't get upset. Can't lose it because I cannot believe what I'm seeing. I, like most people, have been kind of putting this Iran thing off. Like, well, it'll work its way out. It'll cooler heads will prevail. That's what I thought. That's what a lot of people thought. That's what many people believe. They thought it'll be all right. Things will be okay. Things will be all right. Don't worry about it. President Trump is not going to be pushed into this. I officially tell you right now, I don't know anymore. I can't read anything. I can't read what's happening. It is scary. Somebody has got a hold of our mind. I don't know if it's blackmail. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they've got pictures of Trump with a duck or who knows what's happening. Let me tell you something. Let me take something very, very, very seriously. It's very easy sometimes for people to just look the other way because this is scary stuff. And whenever things become scary, we, like most of the times, we just say, "Oh, come on, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay," because it's always okay. It's always okay. Everything's okay. We have nothing to worry about because nothing bad happens to us. We don't have to worry about war. And this country, Iran. I mean, come on. What do they know? What are they really about? And how do you start off with the truth? Look, I need you to kind of sit with this for a minute because this is really, really, really scary stuff. And I want you to think about this because what we're watching right now is not in any way normal. It's not, tough foreign policy. It's not projecting strength or whatever they call it. It's not the early stages of something that has historically, destroyed countries from the inside out. Half the people cheering it on have really no idea what they're actually asking for. None. And all of these morons on TV talking about going into teaching Iran a lesson. You don't know what you're talking about. Now, this is not about, are we breaking with MAGA? Forget MAGA. I don't care whether we're breaking with anyone. We're losing our minds. In the last 48 hours alone, we've had 3 stories that should have every single American, left, right, MAGA, independent, stopping dead in their tracks. And you're not going to hear this on regular TV show. You're not going to hear this about on the Fox News. Here in New York, you're going to be hearing about whether Zoran Mamdani is going to go to the 9/11 ceremony. And, whether Janine Pirro should have dropped the charges against that guy for destroying the wading pool. This doesn't even mean anything. First, I'm going to treat you like an adult, so listen to me. Iran is openly saying that if the United States and Israel hit them again, they will go after American energy infrastructure across the region and Israeli infrastructure. They're calling the idea of another round of strikes, quote, a kind of madness. This is their word. That's not some, low-level propagandist talking right now. That's a senior Iranian, I'll say Iran, a senior Iranian official telling the world in plain language that the energy assets that keep the global economy running are on the table. Oil, gas, shipping lanes, the things that decide whether gas is $3 or $8 or whatever. They're not bluffing about capability either. I want you to hear me. There's a lot of things going on. And there are other groups of people that will talk about perhaps maybe that are talking about water systems and other things that don't necessarily come from the Iranian government per se. But this is as grave as it gets. How they've waited this long, we wouldn't wait. We'll go through this in a moment. These people they have already shown that they can hit things when they want to. I know people don't really want to believe that. They are, and if you think that's good, you know who really packs a wallop? Hezbollah. Hundreds of thousands of rockets. Where do we have them? We don't know. I don't know. Pete Hegseth is doing pull-ups, and we're going to send more aircraft carriers there. I don't know how much of our boutique military weaponry we've given to Iran. Excuse me, to Israel. I don't know. Okay, so the first one is they say one more attack and you're done. Number 2, cyber attacks on American water systems. Listen to me. Not one system, not two, at least 7 states. Let me stop right now. I got to say this. When I talk about emergency food, you think I'm kidding? You think that's a joke? You think that's a joke? They say, oh, he's just selling something. He's just selling something. You think that? See, this is what's going to kill us is the fact that we don't take anything seriously. Minnesota got hit hard first. Dozens of municipal systems. Then it spread. And the people who actually track this stuff were saying the fingerprints look Iranian. No ransom demand, just disruption. Trying to mess with the systems that treat and push the water that you drink. And Trump went on the record saying he doesn't think it was Iran and pointed at Minnesota instead. Fine. You can argue, you can quibble about that. You can argue about attribution all you want. The fact remains, listen to me, that while we're talking about hitting Iran again, someone is already testing how easy it is to reach into American critical infrastructure and mess with that. It's not a distant theater of war. That's your hometown water plant. Does this make any sense? Am I getting, please, I know sometimes people are, and I appreciate the fact everybody's talking. Everybody's talking. They're talking. They're not listening. And I appreciate this. Everybody goes, well, it's an inside job. Listen to what I'm saying. Stop talking. Stop reacting. It's okay. You're not listening. You don't understand this. You're missing what's going on here. This is serious stuff. When the shit hits the fan, you're not going to be able to sit there in real time and react to it. We love to just always comment, and it's great. I appreciate it, but this is grave. Let me say this again, and I'm not trying to in any way dismiss it. This is not Tyler Robinson. If Tyler Robinson is found guilty, if he's found guilty, which is a horrible thing, our lives, our systems, our cities don't collapse. This is existential. We're going to be at war with the nastiest people. Nothing that we're talking about matters. Nothing. Not the movie Odyssey, not FIFA, nothing. Now, the third series of articles is scary warnings. The selective service system is quietly modernizing for a draft. Okay? They're increasing their budget. They're running digital simulations of a full-fledged mobilization. And the law that Trump signed last December will automatically register every man between 18 and 26 starting this December. Automatic. No more relying on kids to walk into a post office. The system will just take the data. White House says it's not the current plan. Press secretary says the president doesn't take options off the table. You know what that means. And you know this language. It means they're keeping the option warm. The engine's running. Now put those three stories next to each other and tell me this is sane. Tell me this is sane. Tell me you're not freaking out. And if you're not freaking out, why aren't you? My good friend Rosie Keeney says, don't you think that by now most people watching your podcast are already preppers? This is a high IQ audience. I believe the best preparation of all is prayer. No. No. I appreciate that. Prayer is not the best preparation. You can't eat prayer. It's good. Go ahead, but supplement it with stuff. Do I think most people are preppers? No, of course not. No. People might be interested in the subject matter. That doesn't mean they take heed. Sometimes I hear people who are in this particular group will say things that just don't make any sense, but they're interested in the subject. So the answer is this. This is not a dig on religion. God bless religion. Okay, I'm redundant to say that. I am telling you. This is not going to be prayer. Your family is not going to say, can we have another prayer, please? I'm hungry. Can you give me another prayer? No, you're going to need to eat. And God and Jesus, whoever is saying, get off your ass and get ready. God helps those who help themselves. I'm not going to drop food from the sky. If you think that's going to happen, it ain't going to happen. Because there's this thing called free will. So I believe this, and I'm not trying to in any way dispel the importance of prayer, but that ain't going to work. You can't, you won't get a full belly on prayer. And please save me any kind of fishes and loaves of bread analogy. This is as serious as it gets. This is not about Iran posing an existential threat to the United States. It never has been. Iran is a regional power with a mediocre military, a broken economy, many people say, and a government that spends most of its energy keeping its own population under control. It also has suffered sanctions like you cannot believe. It is not backwards. It is not, don't get me wrong, please. These are wonderful people. I'm sorry, you don't want to hear this. This is a Persian population. But they do not pose a threat to us. Don't turn your back on them. Don't look the other way. But if you do want to deal with them, you don't attack them in war. Keep an eye on them. Negotiate. Maybe we seized their funds. They want their money released. That's what they're saying. They can't invade the United States. They can't invade us. They can't occupy America. They, in no way can they defeat the United States in a conventional war. In a war. The only reason this country is even talking about another insane round of strikes is because of our entanglement with America's number one closest ally, Israel. Now, you can fight this all you want. This is not an indictment. This is not anti-Semitism. It is a fact. Whether it's a good idea or not, you decide. Whether it's warranted or not, you decide. The fact remains, it is because of that alliance. It is because of that connection. That's the connection. That's the entire reason this has anything to do with us. And what many people are saying and have said for the longest time, and I want you to listen to this. Just listen to this. What many people have said, many of them Israeli, many of them American, many of them Jewish and Christian and Zionist and you name it. Remove the Israel factor and nobody in Washington would be seriously discussing in any way risking American cities, American energy markets, and in no way American young men over Iranian nuclear enrichment levels or proxy fights in the Middle East. Do I make myself? This is not the left is insane. This is the right. Let me tell you something. This is the right. This is not the left. So save all that Mamdani stuff and the commies and all this. This isn't the left. They're not asking for this. The right is. People who, for some reason, I have no idea, that lunatic, Lindsey Graham, lunatic. This man was demented. Lady G. Lady G. This man was out of his bloody mind. And he was lauded. Sean Hannity talking about him. He's nuts. He wants to annihilate Iran. What are you talking about? Annihilate them for what? For what? He put it this way. He will do, for whatever reason, he was doing Israel's bidding for him. It's just like we were doing, I guess, NATO's bidding, at least ostensibly, in this stupid war to support Ukraine. What was that about? This is not just about Israel. It's about Ukraine. But we're smart enough, we won't get near Russia. We're not that stupid. But somebody along the line says, oh, Iran, no problem. They're a walk in the park. They're easy. We, my friend, listen to what I'm saying. We are being walked towards a war that has absolutely nothing to do with the security of the American people and everything to do with the security of another country. Do I make myself clear? Is anybody listening? Is anybody? This is not neoconservatism per se. I love you. I love those who are writing. Wonderful. You're using every bumper sticker there is. You have this bag and you say, okay, let me see something here. Neocon. Let me throw that at you. Here we go. Now with you. Inside job. The left. This isn't the left. Neoconservatism doesn't mean war. Neoconservatism, classic prototypical neoconservatism, was about, if anything, the Middle East, but because of war and power and energy, not just to help out Israel for the sake of it. No. You could argue sometimes that there were some folks who were very, very bellicose, and they wanted to establish a beachhead, so to speak, in the Middle East regarding other countries. But it wasn't about Israel at all. So we're using terms that mean everything. Don't think it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. I need this. My thoughts exactly. This is Brasileira. My good friend Carla says it. This is not, listen, this is not subject to, I got to be honest with you. If you want to sit and you want to talk about Zionism, go ahead. If you want to talk about Israel, go ahead. If you want to, whatever you want. The moment you want to engage this country in more war, where there's, and engage this, that's when we say, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Now the talk stops. The people pushing this are the same class of I guess you call them strategists, who have been wrong about every single major Middle East intervention for 30 years. They have never gotten this right. Why? Because this is artificially involving us. We would never be doing this. We wouldn't go near this. We're involving ourselves. You know how they always say, don't involve yourself in the civil war? We're jumping in. We did this in Vietnam. We've done this before. And Israel says, you're our friends, right? Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Get them. Get them. Get who? Come on. Just obliterate Iran. You want to obliterate, but we don't want to obliterate. Oh, no. We want you to obliterate. Well, because of Hamas or because of whatever it is, because they can't get a nuclear weapon. And what you're hearing right now is this behavior that we would have never said ever in our own right. Why are we doing this? Why? Why? How many of you have children 18 years old, 15 years old, 16? This could take a couple of years to get going. Who has children? Who has children? Who has children? Who has grandchildren? 18. Men. Men. And if you want to talk about the draft, you're talking black and poor, and here we go again. And the deferment route and everything else. You have an 11-year-old son. Grandkids. What is going on? I thought we were done with this. I have a friend named Savage Casey who says, you're 100% correct. Lionel, my friend says, sadly, we are at a 3-year munitions deficit, budget militarily, 4-year deficit. We should have never entered this. We sat back and we did nothing. We let these idiots, these morons on Fox News. Now, let me say, control this. Let me say this again so that you understand. No war. You want to work with Israel or Ukraine or anybody else? Fine. You want to work diplomatically? Fine. You want to maybe change trading? Fine. I'm talking about war. It all changes with war. And now draft your grandkid. You think I'm kidding? Do you think are you reading this? It's people are thinking, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes. Now, I don't know what they've got on Trump. I don't know this. I swear to God. How did you go from some of the best rhetorician against the notion of crazy war to this? Let's talk about the draft, okay? Especially if you have kids. Because that's the part that should scare the shit out of you more than the missiles. The last time the United States ran a real draft, as everyone knows, was during the Vietnam era. It ended in 1973. But before that, hundreds of thousands of young men forced into uniform. The resistance was massive. People burned draft cards. Remember? They fled to Canada. They went to prison. Universities exploded. The political system nearly cracked in half. And one of the main reasons that the war finally became completely and totally unsustainable was that middle-class parents started realizing that their own sons were going to be the ones dying in rice paddies there for some theory or philosophy of containment that never worked. Do you want your son to die in Tehran? For what? I'm not even familiar with other major cities or areas. You know how big this place is? What are you talking about? You think you're going to stick out? You think that the folks in Iran will not be able to tell who American soldiers are? You don't think these people are pissed? See, the draft didn't just supply bodies. It made the cost of the war impossible to hide. And that, my dear friend, listen to me, is exactly what is being put back on the table right now. I shit you not. It's going on right now. Automatic registration, digital tracking. Oh, burn your draft card. You can't burn your draft card. Modernization of the mobilization pipeline is what it is. And all of it while the administration is openly talking about hitting Iran harder. Are you aware of this? Do you think the Iranian response will stay limited to energy infrastructure? Do you? And cyber probes on water systems? Do you think that's going to remain the way if American bombs start falling again? Of course not. Because the people in Iran are saying, look, are you people going to get off the pot? Should I get off the pot? I'm going to explain this in a moment. They will escalate. And when they escalate, the body count will climb. It will climb. And we're going to say, oh my God. And the same people who told you this would be quick and surgical and decisive will start talking about staying the course, not letting the sacrifice be in vain. We know the roots. I know this. I was raised in this. Have we learned nothing? This is the same pattern. Create the conditions, keep the draft machinery warm, ready to go. Tell the public it's not the current plan, while you make sure the option is ready to go, greased, humming, ready to be activated. And then when the inevitable retaliation comes, you have no legal and bureaucratic tools to start, pulling names. And look at what this is already doing. Look at what this is doing to the political map. It's splitting the MAGA movement and Republican movement right down the middle. Right down the middle. On one side, you've got the America First people. Remember them? Who was America First? I am. Who actually meant it when they and we said we should stop policing the world. And on the other side, you have the people, the Fox News crowd, the Lindsey Graham crowd, who never really left what you would say the neocon playbook. They just put a red hat on it. They, the same people who spent years mocking endless wars under Democrats are now explaining why this particular endless war is different. Remember, neoconservatism believes not necessarily in going to war for a particular country because of some type of threat or blackmail or whatever the hell it is that is compromised and gained the incredible focus on this. That's not it. It was about using our country to spread democracy around the world. It wasn't just about it was more philosophical. Remember, neocons are lapsed Trotskyites. Neocons' only problem with Vietnam was ending it. Now, meanwhile, back to the ranch. Meanwhile, large contingents of the anti-war left are finding themselves in the same position, the same identical position as the paleo-conservative right, the Ronald Reagan right, the William F. Buckley right, the Pat Buchanan right. They now, the left, are opposing a war that has no clear American national interest from the left. Do you understand what I'm saying? From the left, the Mamdani left, from the left, and the commies and the communists and whatever the hell you want to call them, they're the ones I'm agreeing with. I'm agreeing with them. I may not agree with them anything else. Do you see what's happening? Forget strange bedfellows. The old left-right distinction is dead. It's dead. It's already collapsed on this very issue. And the only people at all still making like it's 2003 are the ones who never paid the price last time. Look, my dear friend, this is not abstract. If this goes further, the next phase is not cable news panels. No, there is such a thing. It's higher gas prices, water systems under constant cyber threat, young men getting letters or getting texts. It's families deciding whether their 19-year-old is going to register or it's going to be automatic or risk being a criminal. It's the same identical social poison that tore this country to smithereens in the late 60s and early 70s. I remember that. And only this time, with surveillance technology that makes the old draft system look like like some kind of like a toy. This is different. Oh, we've got you nailed. You're not going anywhere. See, Iran is not an existential threat to the United States. Iran is not an existential threat to the United States. Iran is not an existential threat to the United States. They're not to be trusted. They're to be watched. Of course. They don't necessarily share our views, but they are not a threat. A war with Iran is an existential threat to the United States. Say that again. Iran is not an existential threat, but a war with Iran is. Do you see what I'm saying here? Are you following this? I know you're smart. I know it. And the reason for this is not because they can beat us on the battlefield, but because the costs of fighting them will be paid here. But at the pump, of course, in the water systems, in the draft board, and in the political cohesion of the country itself. Let me talk to you about this pump thing. I'm not talking about, oh, well, you're going to have to pay a little bit more at the pump. No, this sets the economic dominoes into effect. It affects inflation. It affects the costs of goods going up. It affects everything. And it just keeps it. Energy makes the world go around. I don't have to tell you that. My friend, we are being told that strength means, what they like to say, the strength means never backing down. Never letting the other side think that they can push us, right? Makes sense. Now that's a slogan for people who will not be the ones actually doing the heavy lifting, which means the dying, or the ones watching their electricity and water systems get tested. And I haven't mentioned anything else. They can also, many people suggest, drop a low-level suborbital or mid-orbital EMP blast and take out our Wi-Fi, take out our grid. You think this is not serious? Not possible. See, real strength is knowing when a fight is not yours. Real strength is refusing to let some other country's security concerns, whatever it is, dictate American blood and American policy and American treasure. That's what we're done right now. But for the longest time, you were so afraid, so frightened, so scared that you might be called an anti-Semite, that you might be chided, you might be called a hate monger, that you might. And there are people on college campuses who had their scholarships removed, and they were removed. I mean, deported for daring to say that they didn't like Israel. They could say they hated America, no problem with that, but that never made sense to me. Look, this has nothing to do with us. The only reason it matters is the association with Israel, all right? Israeli government, not the people of Israel, not the good people of Israel, not the history of Israel, not the people in charge right now, Bibi Netanyahu, who's in a fight for his life. And that is the entire strategic logic, period. Everything else is theater and escalation management. And if you don't think that, and if anybody finds anything wrong with it, wrong. People on TV have been told, whatever you do, go out and make sure, whether through AIPAC and by the way, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. If you're a country like Israel or this government and you can't fight this battle, you want to get the biggest person on the block to do it by any means necessary. If you believe you're protecting yourself, I've got no qualms with that. I just don't want anything to do with it. I understand why you're doing it. I'm not going to let you do it anymore. If you care about this country more than you care about proving toughness on cable news or whatever, wherever the hell it is, then the only rational position is extremely clear. It is limpid. It is pellucid. Do not expand this war. Do not keep the draft machinery warm. Do not pretend or in any way imagine that cyber attacks on American water and threats against energy and our infrastructure are, well, just the cost of doing business. That's the way it goes. Don't think that. Oh, no. They are the early bill, the tab for a conflict that never have been ours. It never was. These are wars that never had anything to do with us. We have seen this movie. We know how it ends. And the only question left is very, very simply this, is whether enough people still have the memory and the spine and the guts and the balls to stop before the next act starts. That's it. Do you think we're able to do this? Do you think we're able to do it? Do you think so? I don't think so. This president is hell-bent on this. He's not listening to a word anybody's saying. He's not listening to you. He's not listening to you. He's not. And no matter how, and by the way, the new militia, the new contingent, and the new cadre, so to speak, is a bunch of people manned by folks like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and other people, and Joe Kent and Thomas Massey and others as well. My friend Samson says, I'd give a few American lives for war with Iran. Trump, Hegseth, Rubio, Huckabee, Witkoff. We need to rally to the street to stop these maniacs. I'd give a few American lives for war with Iran. Oh, yeah. Their lives? Is that what you're saying? It was an interesting phrase. I understand what you're saying. Their political careers, the Republican Party will never be able to recover from this for a very, very long time. A very, very long time. It's very, very serious. Let me talk a little bit about history. Who are these people? Who are these Iranian folks? What do they have? What is their beef? You know, what's the story? What's this all about? If you look at the relationship from Iran's point of view, Iran has a long list of grievances against the U.S. Did you know this? Did you know this? I think you knew this. Maybe you did. I hope you did. But they got a long list. 1953, I'm sorry to repeat this, but please understand this reference. The Mossadegh coup. CIA, Kermit Roosevelt, and British Intel helped, in fact, overthrow Mohammad Mossadegh after he planned or said, or actually nationalized Iran's oil industry, knowing. The Shah was strengthened afterwards. For generations, there was a coup, and they never forgot that. Okay. Then there was the Shah and the 1979 revolution. You see, the Washington supported Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. I mean, this guy, he didn't even want to do this. He's kind of like a playboy. He wasn't really much of a warrior. Remember his savak? Remember that? These horrible, these death, they're like their private police trained by CIA. After the revolution, this was in 1979, after the revolution and the militants took the U.S., remember, and 52 hostages, 444 days. Remember it gave us Nightline? Do we even have Nightline? I have no idea. Then from 1980 to 1988, this was the Iran-Iraq war. This was important. Saddam Hussein invaded Iran. The United States later tilted strongly towards Iraq, supplying economic assistance and help and intel and all kinds of dual technology use, even after Washington knew Iraq was employing chemical weapons. So we were for them. They were being, remember the Kurds? The war killed enormous numbers of Iranians. There was one CFR chronology estimates that nearly 1 million Iranian deaths. Actually, the estimates were higher, but 1 million because of that. So it would be incorrect to say American directly killed those people, but Iranians believe, and remember, that Washington assisted Saddam. So you got that. Then in 1988, direct U.S. combat with Iran. There was Operation Praying Mantis. Remember this, 1988. The U.S. Navy destroyed Iranian ships and offshore military installations after the USS Samuel B. Roberts struck an Iranian mine. Then came something much more consequential. On July 3rd of 88, the Vincennes shot down Iran Air Flight 655, killing all 290 people aboard, including 66 children. The Navy describes the shootdown as resulting from a series of human errors and that sort of thing. What do you think Lockerbie was? Lockerbie was retaliation later on. 2020, January, Qasem Soleimani. President Trump ordered the strike that killed IRGC, the Quds force commander, Major General, and they love this guy, Qasem Soleimani. This was near the Baghdad airport. And the strike also killed militia. There was a militia commander whose name you wouldn't know. The Pentagon said that Soleimani was responsible for hundreds of American and coalition deaths. How? And was planning additional attacks. For Iran, however, the United States had assassinated one of the most important military figures in the Islamic Republic. This was their, Patton, Schwarzkopf, whatever it was. 2025. This is the Israel's war with Iran. This was very serious. June 2025. The campaign killing numerous Iranian commanders and nuclear scientists. Reuters reported that at least 20 senior commanders were killed. 20 in the opening Israeli attacks. And don't forget, there was Operation Midnight Hammer. And then February 28th, this was 2026. This is Operation Epic Fury. And then don't forget, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the IRGC command. Okay, do you have an idea of what we are talking about? Do you have this? Do you think this is necessary? Do you think we had to do this? What do you think these people are going to do? What do you think these people are going to do? Would you like to continue this? Anybody here? Do you want to continue war with Iran? Yes or no? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want continued war with Iran? Press 1. I want to see the numbers. Just push the numbers. Don't say anything. Don't write yes or no. Just put 1 for yes, 2 for no. That's it. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. And it's so interesting, no matter how much you say this, somebody will say, they will write out yes. And by the way, if you want to do this, I will give you a phone number. And you can call Pete Hegseth, and you can volunteer to go over and do this, or volunteer your children, your son, your daughters. Let them do it. Let them fight Iran. And then how you do it, I have no idea. And we will make sure that we say, no, you have just, if Kamala Harris tomorrow says, no war, no more war with Iran, no more being the proxy for Israel or any country, whether that, now remember, it's going to be tough getting away from NATO. You've got the midterm elections right there. Do you understand what this means? Do you understand what this means? Do you understand seriously what this means? And I know that there's so many folks who really don't understand it, and I appreciate it, because sometimes when people are presented with things, they kind of get nervous. Do you really want to do this? I thought, I could have sworn, after Vietnam, I swore we would never be in the position of going through this again. But you know what? I was wrong. I was so wrong. Honestly, God, I thought there's no way this is ever going to happen. None. And I mean it. And when you hear the late, great Lady G, you understand this? This is the most important. Do you think that I am feeding you pablum in the meantime? Is that what you think? But we have Lionel to feed us pablum. Do you believe that is true? Do you? Do you believe that's true? Do you believe I'm feeding you pablum? I know this may make sense to you, but do you think this is a joke? See, during Vietnam, I remember this very, very clear. And I remember hearing people, I used to hear people say things that were so outrageous, so incredible. I was thinking to myself, why is this even happening? How is this even remote? How is this happening? How can anybody be for this? And there are some people who just simply don't get it. They really don't understand how this thing works. They don't really understand, and they never take anything seriously because they have nothing to invest. Their whole thing is one of kind of snarkiness and troll. And the best are the people who are the most religious. They pretend that they would follow the holy word of God, but it's not. It's nuts. We're talking about draft fears. The draft. I never thought we'd even be kidding about this. The draft. Maybe that doesn't mean anything to you. Maybe you're just of a different generation. Maybe us codgers, those who lived through it, because I missed Vietnam by just 1973. I was 15 when the draft ended. It was just in the 75 it came to a complete halt. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Let me ask you something. Why don't you think people here take it seriously? Why don't you think it? Is it just because people just want to make a joke, or I understand. But what do you think it will take, if anything, to get people to really understand how dangerous this is? I'm going to ask you a question. And I want you to focus on this if you could, because we have some wonderful people who are live, and it's a very, very critical thing. What do you think we need to do? And I mean that. What do you think we need to do to get people's attention? I know this is a kind of a shift from a usual subject. I know this is, Tyler Robinson will hold tonight. We'll get to this. I'm sure Candace agrees with me 100%. In fact, I'm positive of it. But what do you think is behind this? What happened to President Trump? What happened to him? How did somebody who went so... How did somebody who got to be so incredible, I don't know what the word is, how did somebody become so amnesic, I guess? The person who said he was not going to do this is doing this very thing. See, America just doesn't get it. America's never had anything really bad happen to us. And we all took a good game. But the people that we're fighting, remember, who is the enemy here? Is it Israel? No. You might say, what? No. Israel's not the problem. It's the people who want to align themselves with either Israel or any country for that matter. It's the group of people in this country who love to play war. They love to play war games with our men and women. They love it. To them, it means nothing to them. Lindsey Graham, I guess the only thing he would have enjoyed about war would have been showering with strange men. And you know that story. How this guy got away with it. All of these rough and tumble tough guys, and all these, pull up, I'm a tough guy. They got how this little twink got through. I have no earthly idea. But what is it? We have been played again. We've been played again. Iranians need a regime change. Let them change their regime. I'm not going to do it. What does that mean? Because the regime change, Khamenei's son is worse, if you will, than the father. When somebody says we need a regime change, this is ridiculous. What does that even mean? Need a regime? What? Need a regime change? What does that even mean? What if the people in this supposed regime change, what if these people are more dangerous than anything you've ever seen? How do you do this? We are a country of cliches. And let me tell you something. The Republican Party is through. It's done. It's finished. This is a new world right now. Brand new world. These people have been for the longest time thinking that they could just do whatever they wanted to do. That nobody would care, that we wouldn't care, that nobody would, pay attention. That's what they thought. They thought for the longest time that we would just not pay attention. That we just, we're just kind of, we're just stupid. We like to play our game, watch TV, play our sports. We really don't know what's happening. And that we actually lived or listened to these idiots, these These people that just. So let me just say something to you. It just got so serious. I mean, really serious. And these folks mean different big business. Let me also say something. They want to teach us a lesson and they want to go through you. They want to see you squirm. They want to see you. I don't want to see this. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see this. Do you know what they would love more than anything else? They're putting up signs because remember the people that they've killed, people that we've killed and laughed about it. Not only did we do this, but we laughed about it. We thought it was real funny. I mean, real fun. We thought, oh, this is so funny. And the president almost kind of like gloated. He almost gloated. It's the most incredible thing in the world. He gloated. And the part about it, which is even scarier, is that I kept thinking, oh no, don't do it with these people. Do you think that they've got some spies? Do you think they've got agents? Do you think that they don't have the ability to be really seriously dangerous, dare I say? Do you really think so? Do you think that these are people who are not to be trifled with? Or do you think, oh, come on, they're living in the 5th century. They wear funny hats. They got funny names. They don't even shave, for God's sake. They're not. That's not what military look like. Do you know how smart these people are? Do you know what would happen if they were to, let's say, poison a water system? A water system? Do you think that's beyond the realm of possibilities? They're telling you. Or I was going to tell you, what they want probably more than anything else is to see, and I don't even want to say this, to see a member of the Trump family hurt, harmed, killed, destroyed, murdered, assassinated, whatever you want to call it. And they have pictures of them. And the reason why they're saying is you'll be doing this to us forever. And there are people who say, well, listen, you don't understand something. All you have to do is just abnegate, remove any kind of thoughts you have of being, or how do I say, of being a, I guess you'd say, being a nuclear power. And that's it. We'll just go away. Do you believe that? Of course not. There's no condition for that. Because what Bibi Netanyahu has said since, remember when he drew that red line? And let me tell you something about him. He's consistent. He's not kidding around. He is not kidding around. He is not, this is not a joke to him. He wants these people done and if killed and if we, and eliminated. And if we can do it for him, all the better. All the better. And that's what he wants. Are you ready to do that? And most people, they don't even know what that means. They're like, well, whatever. I don't know what it is. Maybe years and years of not being intellectually or spiritually, I don't know, connected. Maybe that's it. Most people I know really don't know. Or they know a little bit of a headline, and then they say, huh. And then they'll start off something with about, how about that Iran, huh? It's crazy stuff, isn't it? Yeah. What do you think about it? No. It's crazy stuff, though, and it sure is. Wow. It's crazy stuff. What do you think is going to happen? What about the NDAA? How many people even know that? Nothing. So our work is cut out for us. I mean, we can talk about this stuff all we want. But the thing is, nobody is, how do I say this? Nobody really knows what's happening. They really don't know. And the only thing they'll ever come across, in some cases, is Fox News. Do you have any Fox Newsers in your family? I do. And I'm saying, do you understand what they're doing? They're for this. When you have that Jack Keane, you know who he is, right? He's from the Institute for the Study of War. You know who he is? He is a prototypical neocon. He's from the Kagan and the Newland family. The Institute for the Study of War, they are as neocon, as you can get. 100%. I'm not kidding. And he goes on and they say, General, thank you, General. And he says these things and he feeds this to the core. If you listen to Colonel Douglas McGregor, listen to him. He'll tell you something completely different. He'll tell you that this is insanity. And what he'll also tell you is, more than anything else, he'll tell you that this is being done, this is being drafted or talked about by civilians who don't even know anything about how actual wars are done, how they're operated, how they're handled. It's one of the most incredible things in the world. You really, seriously, you have to see this. Now, up till now, I want you to do me a favor. Up till now, you have been told, you have been chided, you have been scoffed at, you've been yelled, and you've been lectured for so long and hectored into never, ever, ever, ever uttering, much less thinking the word or the name Israel in any kind of an analysis. You've been told this. You've been told, and many, many people believe that somehow to be a good American and to be a good conservative is to automatically 100% vote for this. You have been told this, and I know you have. And I know you're a good person in particular. I know you are. But you've been told this, and you haven't given this a lot of thought. You've been told this. But I'm telling you, this is going to happen. When you see, do you think Trump would not involve in it? Let me ask you something. What do you think is a reason for his change? I want to read some of your questions, and I want you to answer this because right now we're doing this, and I want people to weigh in. What do you think? I'm dead serious. What do you think is the reason for his change of heart? What is it? What happened to him? Was he compromised? Was he what? Was he scared? Did he just change his mind? Did he realize, I've been thinking this over and I was wrong. No, I think it's a good idea for us to be involved in this. I think it's a really, really good idea for us to be involved. Yeah. Is that what you think? Do you believe that that's what this is about? Do you think that that's really and truly, seriously, that this is what this is about? Do you think that President Trump actually on his own one day woke up and said, you know what, I think it'd be a damn good idea for us, maybe, probably, to go to war with Iran? You know what? I changed my mind. Do you think that? Or do you think there's another reason? Do you think he was compromised? Do you think they got to him? What do you think? What happened to him? Now, see, right now, this is very interesting. We have our friend, Tiffany, Tiffinator, excuse me, pardon me, says blackmail. Now, was Tiffinator incorrect? Is she correct? Epstein? Attempted assassination, maybe? He looks out for himself. National security, hard to explain to Lionel. Very good, probably the best one. Do you think that up till now, someone said to him, or not only that not that he was necessarily the subject of any kind of Epstein blackmail, but maybe somebody else was, maybe a member of the family, maybe a close friend, maybe someone else. But it seems like before this happened, something happened. I think Tiffinator I think you got it. It makes sense. Jared Kushner, if there is somebody who screams, don't trust me, it's Jared Kushner. How is this even happening? And as far as when you had Jared Kushner actually say, without batting an eye, without even saying, oh shit, did I say that? When he talked about making Gaza to be the oceanfront property, that he was going to make this into what, condos and resorts? This is Gettysburg. The thousands of souls and children, people pulverized, atomized, that went up in pyroclastic dust under this fiction that this massive destruction was in order to get Hamas, that they were always there. We got to amputate. Well, because there might be a couple of I mean, even cancer doctors say we're going to try to get rid of the tumor. We're going to give us, chemotherapy. We're going to look at the markers, but we're not going to amputate a leg. That would get rid of it. And people bought into that. And then you have these morons, these folks who came along, like Lindsey Graham. I'm thinking, do you not see what's happening here? See, you must forgive me. You must forgive me. I'm having a flashback. This is Vietnam. This is exactly what he saw during Vietnam. Exactly. What are we going to do about it? Let me ask you something. What are you young people going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Don't look at us. My generation gave it, gave this to you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now that we've talked about, okay, all this stuff, and could be this, he might be drugged, it might be, maybe he's having some kind of a seizure, maybe he's going through some kind of an epileptic or some neurological episode. What are you young people going to do? What is going to happen? What's going to happen? Let me tell you something. There's going to be a rout when it comes. A rout. And this is absolutely the scariest thing in the world, because I do not want the radical left in charge. But it may be the only thing that's even available to teach this group a lesson, because they feel like they're just invincible. And it's real easy for you to sit there and say, you have to understand something. When you start talking about people, you remember how people would talk about Candace? She's evil. She's evil. Candace is evil. She's an evil person. She's an evil, horrible, evil, terrible, evil. She's not either. No, she's evil. No, she's not. But pretty soon people just started going crazy. They felt the drum beats of this insanity. She's evil. She's crazy. She's terrible. They're making the Iranian people out to be like they're just nuts. And that they want. Why would they not want listen, it's better off if they don't have a nuclear weapon. It's better off that nobody has a nuclear weapon. But there are people who do. Do you understand? Think about this for a moment. The Strait of Hormuz now is closed. It was open before February the 28th, before the attack, before Epic Fury. This just sounds like some kind of a feminine product, like a freedom, epic freedom. And anyway, it has wings. Don't you remember this? It was open. And Trump, I think he's over his head. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think they said to him, listen, Pally, we don't care how you do it. You do this. And you get all your friends and all your folks, Rubio and others, to come forward, and you just spout this. I don't care what you think about it. Whether you think it's Zionist or crazy, you're going to say this. And then you pick up the phone and you call up those Fox News people and say, I want you and everybody on that couch to repeat that this is an existential threat and that America's best interests are best served by going in and eliminating and expurgating and vaporizing a citizenry, a group of people, a civilization that poses no threat to us. None. There's a lot of people out there who are screwy. There are these weird kind of Saudi Arabia is screwy. And you know who's kind of screwy too? Is a lot of Turkey. Turkey's really weird. And they've got a military that is so badass. They may have the worst of all. And North Korea and China and Russia and Latvia and Belarus and parts of Canada. Shall I go on? Truth Seer says 18-year-olds can't even change a light bulb alone. You think that's true? You think that's true? And I appreciate that. Do you think that who is the youngest person here right now? Do you think that's true that 18-year-olds can't change a light bulb? I don't really know that. Do you think that's true? You think that's true? You think that they're just stupid people, 18-year-olds? They're just dumb? They're all dumb? You don't think they know what's going on? You don't think so? I think it's ridiculous. I think sometimes some do, but more than you can imagine. There are people who really know what's going on. They get their news feeds as well. They get their news feeds big time, and they know what's happening. I don't think they understand what a full-fledged, and by the way, I'm not giving you a hard time. Sometimes I find that some young people are just, I think they're brain dead. But there are some people in my generation who are brain dead as well. It's not only known for a particular group of people. That's true. Remember what I want people to understand. We kind of learned during COVID. This is what happens when the government moves in. When the government moves in and the government says, we're going to take over, it can overnight say, all of a sudden, you are picked up and you've got to report. And if you don't, you will be arrested. They know everything about you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to sign up for anything. They know exactly where you are. Exactly where you are. You can't get away from this. And you're going to have your license cut off and your cable cut off or whatever it is. You won't be able to go to school. You'll be looking at criminal prosecution if you don't. If they need you in a war. I used to think, and I still want to, that the old Trump, I would say, he will never do this. He will never do this because what you're asking him to do is per se nuts. Justin Egg says, we are just puppets for the sick geopolitical game. Thank you for being so aware, intelligent, and entertaining. You can't imagine how precious it is to be able to hear voices of truth like you. That's the nicest thing anybody has ever said. Thank you for that. But what I'm saying is what makes it so beautiful, ready for this, is it's so obvious. I'm pointing out the obvious. I'm pointing out to you the absolute obvious, the obvious truth. Nothing that I've said so far is in any way even remotely novel. And I want people to understand one thing too, and this is maybe of a personal note. We, you, all of us have found the story, the saga regarding Tyler Robinson to be absolutely fascinating. It has been fascinating, okay? As has been the plight and the peril and the progress of our friend Candace Owens. But I don't want anybody to believe that we're a one-trick pony, that's it, that we don't care. Candace is able to handle multiple plates. And believe me, one of the reasons why many people believe that she has been under such firepower, also by this lunatic Laura Loomer and others. And a lot of people like maybe Charlie himself, is because of this very, very issue. So what I'm saying is it makes just complete and total sense. I mean, it makes complete and total sense. It makes absolutely 100% complete and total sense. And I do not believe, and by the way, it's also very funny to see how many people who claim to be of religious faith and Christians have not the slightest problem whatsoever in decrying this. I don't mean to joke about this. I'm not kidding. I mean this. What would Jesus think? What would Jesus think? He'd be furious with this. Furious. So anyway, my friends, I want you please like this. Like our dear friend. This is a wonderful, this is one of the best moderators. She is so terrific. I want to give a special shout out to Ms. Lisa is Fun. She is terrific. She has been an absolute help like you cannot believe. And she has been so terrific and such a great cheerleader and the like. Not as some kind of a bouncer per se, but somebody who just helps me keep an eye on things. Because believe me, as you know, it's very, very difficult sometimes for people for things to go on. And you have been terrific. You have been absolutely terrific, more than anything you can imagine. Today, Mrs. Al and I, by the way, we had a wonderful job. We went to a place called Orts Farm. Is it Long Meadow, New Jersey? And we were out just tooling about. And I bought the most beautiful corn, the most beautiful tomatoes, the most beautiful. It's just, oh my God. The season, and it hasn't really, it's like, it's there, but it's not even perfection yet. And to go out and see people in this place, there's this farm, there's a petting zoo, and kids are on swings, and I hear the laughter, and it's fun, and I'm thinking, this is it. And by the way, it was so, you would have loved this. You saw people wearing a hijab, or a black family, or an Asian family. Everybody's having fun. Kids are kids. And buying natural food. Eat natural food. Eat real stuff. Whole foods, unprocessed. Just, you get it, you cook it. with as little things as possible. Warm it up. Don't grind it. Don't pulverize it. Don't add anything to it. Just eat it. I'm telling you, it was rejuvenating. And then I come back and I see this and I want to cry. Because I'm thinking, haven't we learned anything? I don't want to see another family die. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to hear any more protest songs. I remember as a kid, I heard this song, Echo Park by Keith Barber. Oh my God. One of the most incredible things ever. Keith Barber. It's called Echo Park. You've got to hear it. It's about this old man whose son has died. And he goes to the park and he says, the old man walks in Echo Park from bench to bench. He moves from morning to dark. For the ducks some bread he brings, hoping he'll be here this time next spring. And he just goes, and his son, he has on his desk a letter that says, we regret to inform you that your son will not be coming home. I mean, it's just, I remember as a kid, I cried. It just killed me. I think Keith Barber was with the New Christy Minstrels. And oh my God, it just, oh. And then during the week in our newspaper, we'd see these people killed, and my friends' brothers, and we wore POW bracelets. And every night, Walter Cronkite talked about this. I kept saying, why are they doing this? What does Vietnam have to do with this? Don't you understand? They're spreading communism. What does that mean? Are there other communist states? Yeah. Are they coming here? No. Well, why are the Vietnam going to come here? Vietnamese? No. Well, what are we worried about? And we just, oh, you're too young to understand. No. It's the same thing. It never, well, as they say, history never repeats itself, but it rhymes. This repeats itself. So in any event, dear, great and glorious friends, thank you. Thank you. You are absolutely so important, so great. You inspire me, and I thank you so much. And I want you to have a great and glorious day. By the way, tonight I'm going to be on from 2 to 5 a.m. on WABC. I'm not going to be discussing this. They wouldn't understand. They would not understand this. Too much nuance required. You're able to do it. I can throw any subject to you. No, listen. I can throw any subject to you. You'll get it. You'll get it implicitly. And I think that's incredible. In any event, my friends, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos, and we'll talk to you later. And I love you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Thank you. Seriously. I love you guys. Hey, guys. All right, my friends. Talk to you then. Don't forget the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya.